here are some more complex concepts that get us to those depths of knowledge levels 3 and 4. DOK 3 and 4. Is anybody not understanding that language that I'm using? DOK 1, 2, 3, 4. This is not the place and time to be shy. Speak up before I hold your peace. Okay.
My thing is,
Yes.
I can't ever get to, I mean, to get to a 4, I gotta do a portfolio or do something else that's kind of in depth, that not only do they do in the classroom, they've got to be able to do something on their own.
Okay.
So I have to get to a DO4, and I'm supposed to have a test. I need to know how to do a test question.
Okay.
In DOK 3.
And that's totally fair, Dina. And that's some of the feedback that we got from year 1. You know, it's like, but I'm imprisoned by these tests, by these frameworks, by the pacing guide, by, you know, my peers who are haters, whatever all the reasons are why I can't do what I want to do, right? And so again, that's why I'm wanting to come back to the notion of this space being the space where we experiment with, okay, how can you take what would be a multiple choice question, okay, or even a simple essay question, right, and turn it into something that is really powerful. And so, for example, the language of a DOK 3 or 4 concept is not necessarily more complex language. Democracy is hard. That's an enduring understanding, right? And that's kind of deep. Because it's hard to practice in particular. Okay? You could spend a whole lot of time with your students around this concept of democracy being a very hard thing to practice. Jim talked about the fact that so many human societies were, you know, slave societies or monarchies or places where people were not equal. There was no such thing. You had the king with the divine right from God himself, all right? And you had the servants or the serfs or whatever. And that's the way it was supposed to be, and that's the way it was written in our theology, and that was the way it was written in our philosophy. You know, whole societies built on those concepts. And here we're coming along saying, democracy is where all people are equal. They were created equal by that same God, okay? And they shall remain equal. That's hard stuff to do. That's a hard concept, a complex concept. It's very simple language. Another enduring understanding you might offer is democracy is better than a dictatorship. Well, first of all, you have to start with some DOK 1 stuff. What's democracy? What's a dictatorship? What are the elements of those? You have to, before you get into that conversation, you have to scaffold kids with that language. But then once you get there, oh, what a conversation you can have, right? Because there might be some people who say, well, you know what? Democracy is really messy. You said it was hard. Yeah, it's really hard. Wouldn't it be so much easier if we had a benevolent dictator who just said, okay, I'm looking out for all of your best interests. I'm never going to hurt you, but you just have to do everything I say, right? Okay. There might be some kids who might argue, well, that would be a lot easier. That would be a lot better. That could be a really interesting conversation to have. Democracy is harder than dictatorship. Okay. So the language of something that's a DOK 3 or 4 does not have to be complicated language at all. It's a concept that you're trying to get to, that you want kids to walk out of the classroom having some feelings, some emotions. But we can't be afraid of emotions when we're talking about social studies. So, with that, I want you to revise your statute. If you've already put it away, you can make another one. Revise your statute about what's so important or so special about Reconstruction. Why bother to teach it? Why bother to learn it? Come up with an enduring understanding that maybe goes a little bit deeper than what you did the first go round.
Are we editing?
Yes, you are either editing, or if you just like deleted it all together, you're starting from scratch. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do this. You can do this silently. Because you want to give it some thought. You want to think about how you can ramp it up to a DOK 3 or 4. And if you think what you already did was the DOK 3, well, that's cool. But you just might want to add more colors, add more lines. We're doing this revising statute before Reconstruction. This time we're trying to ramp it up to a DOK 3 or 4. What else can I add to it, or maybe if you want to start with that? Okay, all right, that's fair enough. So, is something that you're inspired by? Oh, gee. What concept are you debating about? That's like, put it in a form of a statute. Violence guard. That's your contemporary. How could you revise your Reconstruction statute to represent a newer understanding that goes a little bit deeper than that? So Mike, if you think what you did the first go around is at a level of DOK 3 or 4, that's good. As he did. Okay, you've got 2 more minutes to work on your statue, your sculpture, your visual art. 2 more minutes. Okay, what is this? Rainbows are deeply rooted in scientific principles. Okay. I like that, Will. I like that a lot. It is. I think it is. I like that a lot. It is. I mean, we see the imagery of that's a that affected us 100 years ago, still affects us today. It is. So 3 is where we tend to really like spark 4 is like right. And so you want to think about what will inspire you to take action. That's one way I like to talk about theories. I see.
What we would do is what was funny about it. Not funny like yeah, but like what was like
Interesting. Great. I like that. All right. Okay, so you all have 30 seconds. Okay. Okay. I saw some really interesting revisions. But I'm gonna let people volunteer first before, again, I have the option of calling people out. So, you had the opportunity either to revise the thing that you hadn't destroyed yet, or to start from scratch if you'd already put your Play-Doh away, or what. So,